Alright guys, the excitement is real because uh, the Pokemon Company just kind of randomly actually released the trailer for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, the new Pokemon games on Switch, and they look like they follow the rumors pretty much exactly, so it's nothing new, but it is kind of refreshing and kind of happy, if you know what I mean, to see some actual gameplay and actually confirm that this is actually what's going on right now, which is pretty darn awesome. Like I said, it's kind of a surprise. I was expecting them to have a whole Nintendo Direct to announce it, but they just kind of slipped it on the Pokemon. The Pokemon Company just kind of slipped it on their YouTube channel, which was interesting. But of course, the entire world went crazy. So if you haven't heard about this by now, well, you're behind. But anyhow, it's going to be remakes of the Gen 1 games, specifically Pokemon Yellow. And of course, one of the games features Pikachu, but another one actually features Evee, which is interesting because obviously there was no version of any of the Gen 1 games where you had Evee as your companion. But the interesting thing about Pokemon Yellow is it was one of the only Pokemon games, or I think the only Pokemon game, main series Pokemon game, where the Pokemon actually followed you around. Pikachu would actually follow you around and stuff. It's 10 o'clock. So we assume in this game, Pikachu will follow you around in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, and Eevee is going to follow you around in Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. So that's interesting. And obviously, you can see in the trailer, you can use other Pokemon in battle other than those two. You're not just restricted to those two. So that's good. It is a traditional Pokemon game, pretty much, even if it is just a remake. I'm actually pretty happy to get to play this because I've actually never played any Pokemon games in Kanto, which is surprising because I've played 3, 4, maybe 5 Pokemon games. None of them were Gen 1, none of them in Kanto. So that's interesting. So this will be a great opportunity to go back to that and in full HD high definition. Now looking at the graphics, it's kind of obvious to tell it's running the same engine as the 3DS games for Pokemon, but you can see the engine is actually able to run a lot better on the Switch. It's still not as mind-blowing as I thought it would be, but once you really look at it, the graphics really are a huge improvement and, of course, scaled up to high definition. And I think it's particularly interesting to look at how the battle mode works, not battle mode, but inside Pokemon battles, you can definitely see a huge graphical improvement over the 3DS version. I absolutely love the way battles are done. The other thing that kind of scares me about this whole thing is the way that you're going about capturing Pokemon. It's just like in Pokemon Go with throwing Pokeballs at the center of the moving circle, which is kind of disappointing to me because I always thought that catching Pokemon should be strategic, as in trying to lower down their health without killing them and then capturing them in the Pokeball. I always thought that kind of strategy was important, so it's disappointing to see they go for the whole Pokemon Go approach of make it as simplistic as possible. But this is supposed to be a more simplistic game to get Pokemon fans that aren't necessarily into the game right now back into the game, so you just gotta think of it that way. There's also this really weird peripheral that goes with it that I'm not really even sure why it's there. It's called the Pokeball Plus. And basically this thing is like a Pokeball. It's got a wrist strap just like the wrist strap on the Joy-Con, which is interesting. It's basically a peripheral that you can use to capture Pokemon. It actually looked like you could scroll through some menus with it too. Then you can actually take your Pokemon on a walk in this thing, and it actually showed them at like a diner at some point, sitting around a table, and they shake it, and it makes Pikachu noises, which is interesting. I don't know if you can train Pokemon like that, like actually level up the health of their Pokemon that way, you know, that kind of thing. I don't know. It's just kind of unclear at this point. But and the other thing is, how does this thing charge? Does it have a USB-C port that's hidden from view? I don't know. It's obviously running on battery power. Anyway, there's a lot we don't know about this peripheral, but it exists. It hasn't really captured my attention yet. It just kind of looks like another weird peripheral that I'll never get and never use. But if they reveal some more details of it that look really, really interesting, maybe they can get me hooked. But I'm not really hooked right now. I am hooked on the actual games, though. I'll definitely play them if it's just to have in full HD. Now, it's interesting. You can play the game with one Joy-Con, which is interesting. Obviously, it'd be more comfortable having the full grip, I think, but you can do it with just one Joy-Con, which is cool. And it's also got co-op. And this is cool, because it's probably, I think, the first main series Pokemon game we've ever had with co-op and being able to play with 2 players on the same console. It's quite crazy if you look at it that way. It's awesome, I'm not going to lie. So, pretty happy about that. I think it's going to be pretty darn cool. And yeah, that's about that. So another thing that's interesting here is that they have actually added Pokemon Go integration, which I mean I'm not really sure. I probably won't use it because I stopped playing Pokemon Go a long time ago. I know nobody really play, not that many people at all really play Pokemon Go anymore. So it's interesting that the Pokemon Go integration is a thing. But basically, you can send your Pokemon from Pokemon Go into the Switch version, but it doesn't look like they're actually playable. They go to some place called Go Park, which looks like just a place for them to sit. It doesn't look like you're actually able to use them, which would make sense. It would be totally unfair if someone had a bunch of awesome leveled up Pokemon in Pokemon Go and just transferred them all to the Switch version, Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu, and Evee. That wouldn't really be fair. You can also transfer something from Let's Go Pikachu and Evee into Pokemon Go. There's kind of a mysterious present type thing, and it didn't really, was never really clear in showing us what exactly that was. But I assume it's just going to be you can send certain Pokemon from Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee into Pokemon Go, which again is something I probably won't ever use. But yeah, I kind of want to go back and talk about the co-op for another second here. I think that's really interesting. Obviously, the Switch is about local multiplayer primarily, so it makes sense that that's an inclusion. I just think it's interesting to see how it would work compared to past Pokemon games. They're very strictly single player. I mean, obviously, you can battle and trade and stuff connecting to other players, but the actual game experience is meant to be enjoyed on one console. So it's interesting that two players are able to join on the same console. Again, I'm not really sure exactly how that worked. You can see there are party matches where two people playing co-op on the same console have different Pokemon in their parties. So maybe you can load like two different kind of save games, not exactly save games, but two different sets of Pokemon to the two different characters in the game for co-op. I'm not exactly sure. It's kind of weird. I guess we'll get more details later on exactly how that works out. But yeah, these games look pretty exciting. Of course, it's nothing revolutionary. It's just a remake, but it does look really, really cool what they're doing with this and making it unique. And it's going to be the first Pokemon game on the Switch, so that's good. And we have actually heard that there will be a full Gen 8 game on the Switch next year. So that's a good thing as well. So if you just want to wait for that, you can. But I probably will end up picking up this game just because I'm really interested as to what exactly it will behold. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. There's probably a lot of stuff in the reveal trailer that I missed. But that's okay. I just kind of wanted to give my overall first thoughts and impressions right here. And let me know down in the comments what you think about this game, whether you're going to get it, what you like and don't like, that kind of thing. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.